right, fellas, we are live right here on the Truth Be Told show. Uh, Ladies and gents and ladies and shims and hymns and whatever pronouns I may not be enunciating properly. We do apologize for being a little late. We had some technical difficulties. But hey, I got my guys with me here on the Truth Be Told show. Fellas, are you ready?
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
Okay, well, we ready, folks. So I tell you what, let's go ahead and rock out right here on the Truth Be Told show.
All right, cue the music.
Cue music.
Start the music.
Starting music.
And go.
It's the Truth Be Told show, where we place America first. Honoring those who America has forgotten. Listen in and unlearn to relearn. As we set the record straight. And now, your host of the Truth Be Told show, Mr. Just Ask Joe and Uncle Mishorn.
Hey, what's going on, folks? It's Mr. Just Ask Joe, my brother from another, from another mother, Uncle Mishorn, as well as my other brother from another mother, Better Days with Peter Hayes, as well as my other brother from another mother, from another brother, other mother, Marcus D. Ray. Brother, how are you guys doing?
Great.
Doing good, man. Good. How you doing, man?
Oh man, I'm doing fantastic, man. I didn't get a run in this morning, but I went ahead and got my green juice going. So, one little piece of garlic, one little garlic clove, man, and woo, this whole thing is like drinking garlic. You guys still doing the juicing?
Yeah, I picked up some stuff yesterday.
Hey, I gotta hip you guys to it's a brother named Tidal, the Mushroom Man is what we call him, but he's got a text thread. It was a discount last week. It's normally $40 a week, but $30. He delivers a box full of fruits and veggies, man. And I mean, I got a bunch of collard, and I mean, all through the weekend for Derby, all the cooking I did, I pulled all the veggies and stuff right from there. And I mean, it's well worth the regular price and over well worth the discount. I almost feel bad taking it from him at $30 for that big box of stuff. But, I'm going to hip y'all to that here soon.
Yeah, that'll be good. I like that. Hey, so Joe,
I don't run of the show. Did we get that emailed out, Peter?
Peter didn't send it out.
It's all good. He probably typed it. And, Peter's so busy, man, he might have fell asleep right before he hit the send button. It's all good, man. I mean, dude, this guy will call you at 11:22 at night to talk business. I promise you. But it's all good. Either way, we'll get that here shortly. But, what's going on this week, man? Usually we talk about some news and all that good stuff right now. What's going on? What you guys got on your mind? I know that Kevin Samuels thing is big in the news right now.
No, let's talk about the news just last day. We just celebrated Derby out here in Louisville, Kentucky. We just had a little Derby and the.
Oh man! And I know you went out to the West End and hung out, right?
Huh?
I know you went out to the West End and hung out, right? That's your favorite place to go during Derby, right?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did go down there for a little bit, but quickly exited and got on out of there. And then learned later on that evening someone got shot down there at 26 and Broadway, right there where I was doing a little purchasing and stuff. But yeah, let's that the horse that won, added to the program only at the last minute to find himself winning the whole Derby, man. What kind of luck is that, bro? I mean,
that's a long shot.
Yeah,
on the long shot. I had somebody here at my house. They bet $50 on the long shot, and they won $1,000. So something like that. So it's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah. I had someone, I had a nephew bet bet $2 and won $100 and something from that and everything. I like, man, I wish I would have been up on that.
I think the real question about the Derby, though, is not so much about the race, but about the economic impact and where that happens in Jefferson County. We talk about the Derby and all the party, but the real question is the economic impact and who feels the impact of the Derby. And I'm gathering from your conversations there, it ain't the West End.
Well, I mean, people get to get out there and make their money, so I guess the vendors feel some of that economic impact right out there in the West End. But anybody know what type of numbers that brings in?
Well, I don't know. I just know that it's a huge impact for the city, and how that money is dispersed or how that money is spread throughout the community is a question for not just the Truth Be Told, but for any organization that's looking to improve the plight of the West End.
Well, let's see. The 2021 Kentucky Derby had a reduced capacity with 51,838 fans in attendance. The estimated economic impact for that year was 60,441. No, I'm sorry. $60,441,742, dwarfing the expected 35 million. So it's crazy. That was 2021, and the Derby had no in-person events due to the 2020 COVID 19 restrictions. I'm always pause when I say that, because if you say that word, then it's like you get in trouble somewhere on social media or something like that. So even when I post that, I put spaces, and then people ask me, why do you put spaces? But I put spaces when I say Jesus. If I say anything about any religious anything or the C word, then I put spaces. It keeps you from getting hit by the bots. But
Right.
let's say a $400 million economic impact on the region is what the Derby does traditionally.
Well, I know here in Elizabethtown, hotels are booked. You can't get a room Derby weekend in Elizabethtown. And I would imagine it stretches as far south as Bowling Green, with people trying to get into the Derby. So I do see that there's an economic impact. I guess when we talk about what's right for us is how do we capitalize on it in our community so that it has some lasting benefits.
I have to throw this in, and Marcus, you bring up a very good point. When I first arrived here in 94, and then my wife and we got married in 96, and the Derby or the impact used to be felt or realized in our community, because we had the whole 28th, it was 21st Street all the way to 28th Street blocked off. They had vendors and everything, but no one talks about it. We always want to point the fingers, but our nonsense shut it down. Okay, the activities, the shooting, the craziness, all the stuff that was going on, that the what they call the drive-by, the cars going on. I mean, it was, listen, man, I live right there on 40th Street. It was an embarrassing situation. I mean, and we complained about it. We had something good at one time, but now, you go down there, it looked like a ghost town down there in the West End community now. There's nothing going on. And so the economic impact, who do we blame? Can't blame nobody but ourselves.
Yeah, the Derby cruising was a big. Yeah, the Derby cruising was a big death, and actually, it was some folks from out of town, Indy and Detroit, that shot up, and there was some murders right there, the cruising.
Right.
So it wasn't necessarily the local folks, but just like a lot of these protests around the country was from out of towners, and they had one murder with a guy from Indy, and then next year some folks from Detroit. They used to go down to Atlanta and have that big
Yeah,
thing.
Nick,
But
Freak Nick, whatever
Freak
that
Nick.
was, Freak Nick. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they cancel that. But yeah, it's unfortunate that the Derby cruising and that whole, like I said, street fair was canceled. And on the other hand, a lot of the businesses along Broadway were not happy because it impacted their business on Derby weekend. So there was a lot of factors to deal with it.
But they had the cruising back up this year, right?
No,
No.
I mean it was
No, nah.
unofficial.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I mean, I guess it's always unofficial. I mean, even the year that Yaya was shot, then I was out there, if I'm remembering correctly. I know I was out there like a couple weeks with him before he got shot, and I think it was Derby weekend. I want to say I can't remember, but yeah, that it was. I remember. I know I was out there Derby weekend last year, and it was extra unofficial. Everything that was going on, but look, they say the Kentucky Derby has a $400 million economic impact on the region statewide. The equine industry, which of course is the horse industry, has a $4 billion impact, generating more than 55,000 jobs. That's statewide. So, I mean, dude, this has to be one of the biggest money making events in the country. I would beg to say in the top 10 in the world.
Yeah.
Man.
And what percentage of that actually roll back in the community, and what is right for us, and you think of bringing up. I don't think we're going to talk about that. I do want to throw this here, what is right for us. I'm about sick and tired. Tyler Perry came through here too, and he did a little event, but I'm just falling out with Tyler Perry, the man in the dress and Medea and all that nonsense, man. A grown, big 6'4" man, 257 pounds, putting on a dress and skirt. Why couldn't he did a Uncle Paul? I mean, I don't know. I just had to throw that in there, man. I'm just sick and tired of culturally, I'm men throwing on the dress, and and then he said, I'm never going to do that again. I'm not going to do that. I'm done with the Medea thing. And what did he do? Bring that nonsense back. Okay.
Well, we got closer to allowing men in dress as a norm. So, he was like, oh, I can do it now. Listen, it's commercial time right here on the Truth Be Told show. So I tell you what, we're going to do a little commercial break. We're going to come back. And we're going to bring in our guest, Brother Ali Mahjoub. So give us a second, folks. We'll be right back right here on the Truth Be Told show.
Thank you, Truth Be Told, for allowing God's Lives Matter to be a sponsor. Wearable products, as the purple t-shirt, is bearing witness. Every life created by God has infinite value. Visit God'sLivesMatter.com.
All right, folks. I definitely want to let you know all about .com. Remember, folks, that's Truth with an E. That's Truth, TrutheBetold.com. That's truthbetold.com. Make a donation of any size. Tell you what, Kentucky Derby, you are allowed to go to our website and make a donation of just $1 billion. Okay, Kentucky Derby, go ahead, make a donation of $1 billion. That will keep the Truth Be Told show on air forever. All right, we will be there forever. But again, folks, remember, truthbetold.com. Make a donation of any size. Please like us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel. YouTube channel is just look up History Untold 400 Truth Be Told. That's again Truth with an E. And remember on Facebook it's Truth Be Told Radio. That is Truth with an E. And you will catch us anywhere. Remember, folks, again, truthbetold.com. And now back to our show. All right, folks. I tell you what, we are back once again, and we have a special guest with us today. We have an amazing brother. This guy is awesome, and look, I was even in a chat with the Bitcoin campus last night, and they were posting in the thread. They said, "Who is this guy?" You know, and I wasn't there. I was busy all day. They said, "Who is this guy, Ali? Anybody know him?" I said, "He's coming out the box, just inviting people left and right to the Bitcoin campus. He's coming out hot." And I said, "Oh, that's my guy right there. Yeah, I invited him to the Bitcoin campus." So, folks, without further ado, we will go ahead and bring on Brother Ali Mahjoub as we talk all about dreams and how he was brought to Jesus through dreams. Brother Ali, how you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm blessed to be with you today. I thank Truth to be Told for allowing truth to be told. How about that?
Absolutely. We love it.
Yeah,
we
whatever
love it.
the truth is truth, whether people like it or not. If it's the truth, people need to hear it.
Absolutely. Brother Ali, if you could quickly kind of give us a quick synopsis about you, what you do, where you from, what brings you here today, sitting here at the Truth Be Told show.
Okay, yes. I'm Ali Mahjoub. I came actually from North Africa, Tunisia, North Africa. It's a beautiful country. We used to have almost 2 million tourists a year, most of them from European country. Tunisia is like the Bahamas for European countries, famous for white sandy beaches and palm trees, and amazing. You can ride a horse or a camel on the beach. It was a beautiful until extremism came in and destroyed that country and destroyed that tourist industry. It's so sad, but it's a beautiful, beautiful country. And so I grew up in a very small village. I was raised to be like a shepherd, basically taking care of sheep and cows. And my father owned
I can tell by the farm that I see in the background behind you, all those sheep and cows behind you there.
Yeah. And so I was basically up to the age of 17, I was penniless. I was behind a common, basically tilling the land. And God worked miracles in my life. From penniless, I traveled to more than 21 countries, lived in 6 countries from just 6th grade education. And I published 3 books. So this defies anything, not all those college graduates can write books and can do stuff, yeah. So, but beside this, my whole story is how God worked in my life and prepared me for an amazing encounter. And this is why I'm here to speak. And, when we talk about faith, I believe in faith based in experience. Nothing beats that. When you have experience, nothing. I mean, you can put theology, you can do anything. Faith-based experience. And all my experiences with God are really faith experience through dreams, intuition, inner voice. Often.
Now tell me about that. When you say faith-based experience, you talk about dreams. Most people who listen, they may say, "Man, this guy must be a lover of PCP, LSD, You know,
Yeah.
you know what I mean. So,
Yeah,
so
I know.
I mean, when you talk about that, how do you say that and convince a person, hey, no, I wasn't high at the
Yeah.
time. You know, is there fruit that has come from this?
Mr.
These
Just
experiences?
Joe,
Yes, sir.
the thing is simple. Read my books, and then you will find all these amazing experiences. That's why I write books, and especially my last book, Chosen, and very clearly give it step by step, how God worked in my life. And, but there's so much to share. But, I can give you.
So
God
tell us
worked.
about your books.
Okay, my books is basically a test, my autobiography of how God used dreams and used inner voices and used coincidence. So often people call coincidences as if like incident happened for no purpose. Coincidence, I actually call them divine coincidence. All these coincidences has a purpose and direction for people to receive it. Well, let me start with this. To say this, God does not work at random. God prepares his people. God is a systematic God. He prepares his people and guide them. And at the appointed time, he used all the seeds that God sow in your life and bring them out to convince you that this is the way you need to go. So God does not work at random. And talking about dream, my favorite person about dream is Joseph in the Bible. You read amazing story that Joseph, what he went through all his life, but he finally managed to be arrived to where his dream told him that he would be the greatest commander in chief of Egypt that time.
Mm.
So basically, our life is like Joseph. We all received, we are prepared. And especially, my story is nothing without connecting it to the last days and second coming of Christ. My story is nothing when I can tell you all kind of things, but it is connected to the last days and second coming of Christ. And this is what I feel how God prepared me from childhood, dreams after dreams, coincidence after coincidence, and until he brought me to meet, the missionary that introduced me to Jesus Christ.
So would
Well,
you
oh,
a
I
quick
had a
question?
question.
Would you say that you're and Peter, you run right after this, but would you say that in meeting Jesus now you are a Christian or?
I believe so. I absolutely. But let me tell you something. The person who you really don't need the. I mean, how many do you think there are Christian organizations in the world today?
Yeah, Peter knows all that information.
And
There's like 7,000 Christians.
7,000. But listen to this. God made sure that he handed me in the hand of the unification missionaries. So I must tell you that I'm a unificationist. And this is how God brought me. I mean, my story is so powerful. It just as if like I might be using a strong word, but as if like God kidnapped me and hand me in the hand of the unification missionaries in the most incredible way. And again, it's through dream. God gave me a dream. How many on earth today will receive a dream and they will do exactly what the dream told me? I had a dream, and one looked like Jesus says, Ali, there's a gift out there, more precious than life itself. Go out and look for it. And because of that dream, I packed my cases and I began to travel from state to state, randomly looking for that dream might show up. And guess what? That dream came, and I ended up in Chattanooga. And the person, it's a long story. God worked. Here's another thing. God is the number one salesman. When he tried to sell you something, man, you have no choice but to accept it. And God also is a number one fisherman because he knows you so well. He knows what kind of fish, what kind of bait he throw to you. So he know my favorite bait is pretty women. So God started throwing one woman took me here, the other woman took here, and finally another woman brought me to the United States. I was actually in Saudi Arabia working in a hotel, and a group of medical team came from the United States to Saudi Arabia to open a hospital. And this is how I met this lady. At that particular time, I already broke with one woman and I said, that's it, no more women. But it came from nowhere. Anyway, finally, we fell in love. I went home and told all my family that I took a picture of this beautiful lady from Salt Lake City. I'm going to marry this lady. And my parents were so happy. And I promised them as soon as I got married, I'll send them the photos. Anyway, I flew to United States. I came here, whatever. And while we are preparing the wedding, our wedding, I discovered that this girl that I fell in love with was cheating on me. She was dating her old boyfriend.
Oh, snap.
And I completely crashed to no end. I mean, I left a great job in Saudi Arabia. The shame I was going to fix my parents. I told them that I'm going to send them a picture. Then, bang. And I tell you, I had to take my stuff out of her house and check in Motel 6. And I actually died 3 days in Motel 6, crying day and night alone, totally, completely lost. Then I have 2 dreams.
Okay, before we get into that, we have a break coming up.
Yeah.
So, Joe, I guess that Bob Marley song, No Woman, No Pain, is very apropos for what.
God uses these baits to get you from one place to another until he catch you in the right time and place.
Absolutely. Well, I tell you what, this is an intriguing story. And when we come back, then, I know my brothers here have some questions for you. So we'll ask a few questions and we'll dig in some more into this story. But remember, folks, we'll be back right here on the Truth Be Told show.
Thank you, Truth Be Told, for allowing God's Lives Matter to be a sponsor. Wearable products, as the purple t-shirt, is bearing witness every life created by God has infinite value. Visit God'sLivesMatter.com.
Habibi Trading Company, home of soap, sticks, and Saya Baba products. Over 400 locations at a store near you. Cincinnati, Ohio, Louisville and Lexington, Kentucky, Southern Indiana, or find yours online at sayababa.com. Again, that's sayababa.com. Habibi Trading Company, where you can find fragrances to incite your senses.
Hey folks, check out healthdaddywow.net. 100% plant-based herbs and supplements. Whether you're in person or online, use the word tipping for 10% off. Remember, feel better, look great, healthdaddywow.net. Remember, healthdaddywow.net.
All right, folks, listen up. Once again, we want to make sure that you know and understand all about the truthbetold.com. Remember, that's TruthBetold.com. That's truthbetold.com. And don't forget about historyuntold400.org. That's historyuntold400.org. They are the sponsors of the Truth Be Told show, folks. And just remember, check them out. You never know where you've been or never know where you're even going until you know where you've been. So just remember that, folks. It's historyuntold400.org. And right now it's back to the Truth Be Told show. All right. As we come back, then my brother's here. Who wants to jump in and give some conversation here, because we've heard a lot, and we've heard some things that I think we haven't heard before. I've seen fishermen pull up a lot of things, but a woman wasn't one of them as their bait. I'm just wondering what the size of the hook that you would need to bait them, as Peter Hayes says, no woman, no pain. With that in mind, who wants to jump in there first?
I want to let my buddy know that I sent you an email. Hopefully it came to and everything. When you in your leisure, I like for you to, and don't answer it online, just reply back to me, Ali, when you get the opportunity. I also believe in dreams. I used to have dreams as well when I was a little, but I didn't used to talk to my parents and everything because of some the personal trauma that happened to me when I was a child. So I was a very quiet child, everything. So I didn't talk to them and share a lot of things. I used to have all these dreams. And I started drinking and smoking and doing things because I just didn't want to have them anymore because they were just crazy to me. And then I found myself in the military, and I put it all away. I put the drinking and everything in the military, changed. And then the dreams came back. I turned my life over to, I turned my life over to God, and I started having these dreams and I call them epiphanies. My birthday, January 6th, Epiphany. So I do understand the Epiphany. My birthday, I didn't even know that my birthday, January 6th, until I was involved with a church, a Methodist church. They explained to me about the Epiphany. And then I started realizing, and I've been having epiphanies in my whole entire life and everything. They didn't realize it. So my question is to you, and the only reason I ask this question because as a descendant of American slaves, born in a country or in a society that is based on color, finding Jesus for me was a hurdle, in a European culture, painted a white Jesus with blue eyes, talked about the Santa Claus coming down the tree and everything and all this type of stuff. I want to ask you, do you think you're, as a person coming from South Africa, was it easier for you to navigate, to find that Jesus in this color construct society that we're in today?
Well, to tell you the truth, the external look is not so important to me, to the truth. What's inside, what drew me to Jesus? I mean, as a Muslim, I was raised to believe in Jesus. We believe in Jesus. We believe him as a prophet, not like the Christian believe him to be a god or something. Muslim revere Jesus, and just like any other prophet, like Moses, Abraham, all together. So Jesus is included. In fact, in the Quran, there is a specific story. It's called the title Mary's story. Mary. In fact, the Quran tells it specifically, talked about Jesus and how, and the miracle that Jesus did when he was just born. He knew his mother was worried about something. This is the story in the Quran. And he told his mother as a baby, like an hour later, after he was born, he was communicating with his mother. This is what the Quran says. And he knew his mother worried. And he told his mother, "Mother, don't worry. I will take care of you. Drink some milk and eat some dates." Apparently, Mary must have gave birth to Jesus under a palm tree in the desert somewhere, because Jesus was asking her to eat some date and drink some milk and leave the matter to me. I will defend you. I will speak to the people. Apparently, what the story of the Quran says, that Mary was not afraid of the king might kill her son. Mary was afraid of her relatives and neighbors, what they're going to say by having a child of no father. So Jesus said, encourage his mother to go back. And he said, and I will talk to you. And the story continued. Mary came to the village, and people start coming, attacking her and pointing finger. And Mary said, pointed to Jesus as a baby. And she said, let him talk to you. I'm nothing, but he will tell you what has happened. And Jesus spoke, and he said, leave my mother alone. Let be peace. I am born, the Lord, and stuff like that. So, and people were completely shocked and saw it as the greatest miracle at that time. So it's really interesting. So what I was going with this. Anyway.
Here's a question, because it relates to kind of how we got from being on a radio show to a podcast.
That's what I was thinking about.
Yeah.
Jesus, baby daddy. Go ahead.
Yeah. And one thing interesting, and this is important as we have a global audience, people have a lot of misinformation about Islam and the Quran, and the real difference that Jewish people and Muslims have is this very fact that Christianity, the early Christianity and the Nicene Creed deified Jesus, made him from a man to a God. And that's blasphemy in both Judaism and Islam. And
yes,
I would agree with the assessment that was very, and I know we had a couple guests on and, wanted to say, no. But the fact that they turned a prophet into a God, and God, the creator, and the Immaculate Conception, all that is very, very interesting. So hopefully someday, as what Ali's talking about, the children of Abraham, which is Jewish folks, Christians, and Muslim, will come together. But that's
Amen.
The biggest impediment. One of the biggest impediments to that happening is the Christian idea that a man can be God, the creator, and also be born without, a human father.
A holy Trinity.
Amen.
I've always wondered about that. I mean, when you think about that, and here's my pops. He says this is similar to the Dalai Lama story. But when you think about that and you start talking about this Holy Trinity thing, we do a lot of that. We take a lot of things and put them before God. Ego, right? Edging God out. So we take a lot of things and put them before God. The Bible, it has become a deity in and of itself. And people, it's like this. This is their God, this Bible. And the relationship between them and Father God is minimal, but when it comes to Jesus, when it comes to Jesus being a God, when it comes to the Bible and the holiness of it, the quote unquote holiness of it, man, it's before God, so how do we rectify that in any way?
Hey, Ali,
Yes.
I have to throw this question to you. So if we're going to say that, because I've learned about the blood, okay? The blood is a very, very, very interesting conversation. If we're going to, it's the reason why in the very beginning in the garden that the two boys was making an offering. One made an offering of vegetation, other made an offering of a lamb, and the lamb was the sacrifice of blood. And then we go on further in the story, and later on that that
means that God isn't vegan.
that the son was being offered and the lamb was offered up. So my question is, if we wipe away the story that God, Jesus was not born by an imagination or a spirit of God, then that means that we're all born in the sinful nation of this world that we're born into. So what are your answers to that? So if we say Jesus has a sperm daddy, okay, that means a blood from a sinful nation, a sinful life.
Sperm daddy.
So what does that, how do we connect back to our God that we cannot stand before our creator in a sinful nation? So how do we answer that question? I want to hear that.
Well, basically, I would be speaking upon based on the truth I learned from Father Moon about the importance of blood lineage. Adam and Eve failed, and therefore, instead of carrying God's lineage, they carried Satan's lineage. And the whole history of 6,000 years is to restore that blood lineage back to God. And so God works in the reversal way. And that's why Jesus is supposed to come back, is to reverse and be reborn again with a fresh, pure blood lineage from God.
But
That's
then
what-
that's
Oh,
that's as Jesus, that because Jesus is still
Joe.
a prophet, but still could be considered a quote unquote son of God, just as all of us are.
Absolutely.
But this one was more focused on pointing you back to God, right?
Well, look at,
This guy,
I mean,
Jesus.
Noah was a prophet, and Moses and Abraham,
Yeah.
and are we saying that God did not work through them?
Well, obviously he did,
Are
but
we?
Yeah.
So are
And
we
the whole
saying,
thing, even based on theology of all religion, whether they are Muslim or Christian, they're all waiting for the second coming Christ to appear. It's not
so what
just
you're
a
saying?
vague.
So what basically
Go
what
ahead.
I'm hearing you saying is that we are all waiting to be reborn.
Yes.
Because we're waiting for Jesus Christ to come as a second nation. So we all right now surely going to die right now. We're all in the process of dying. There is no, everything we've been told about turning your life over to Christ and, be reborn into a new kingdom. Right now, what you just said is that everybody into the return of Jesus Christ, we are on the track to death. Right
Okay.
now.
Well, here's another thing.
Hold on, I didn't hear him say that. That's you're putting a whole lot of words. Come on.
I think he's talking about the last days.
I don't know what he's talking about, because you took something, something you wrote
ahead,
your own
Peter.
book and then put his name on it.
So,
it's a conversation.
So is this really then? It's really about good and evil, or good and evil, and then the concept, at least in my opinion, the concept and the mission are pure, meaning that it's a battle between good and evil.
Amen.
And whether you believe it's Muslim or Christian or whichever faith you follow, it's about good and evil. And at the end of the day, when you check out, you have to answer for your time on this planet, on this earth, before your creator, whether it's Allah or whomever, however that comes out. And so I think what this is about is that we talk about the mission being pure and good, and then the marketing of that has what's turned it into something else. And so we caught up in the marketing of it, and back to Michonne's initial comment about how it was used and marketed to enslave an entire group of people and keep them suppressed or oppressed. And so that's what I think this is really about, is just the pure good and evil and how it's been marketed into something else.
Well, I believe this is the history. Unfortunately, it had to be God allowed this to happen, but his providence continue to grow. People continue to be educated to a higher understanding of God and spirit world and spirituality. So you look at today's time and 2,000 years ago, we have totally different view of everything. You know, back then, they only believe in the supernatural. Today, we are living in a modern time where people demand logical, reasonable explanation. So they push away all this superstition stuff like that and supernatural, and wanted to know. So, and even Jesus himself promised that when he come back, he will bring a new truth. He said, I'm speaking to you now in figures and parable, but when I come back, I will speak plainly of the Father. So what would Jesus talk about when he comes back and tell us? He would be telling us about what had happened to God and how history, progressed. It's not just.
Well, Ali, let me ask you this. I know Miss Shawn was tipping around the point of it, but in all your dreams, and when you saw God and Jesus,
yes,
how did he appear to you? Did he appear to you in the same nationality that you are? Did he appear as a blue-eyed, blonde-haired guy?
Well, it's interesting that you asked. Thank you for asking for that. Actually, Jesus does not match any of Hollywood Jesus, the blonde and long hair. The Jesus that I saw is built like you, Mark, built up with a trimmed beard, very short beard, trimmed, short hair, and built, really strong.
Yeah,
that's the type, and that's what
He's a superhero.
That's what Israel people or Arab people look like. They're not blonde. I mean, they got blonde much later, when the Roman Empire went there and did something. And you go to Syria and find blonde and blue eyes men with blonde hair and women, but way back 2,000 years ago, I don't think, and so the picture that I saw Jesus when he talked to me and he ordered me to go out and look for that promise, more precious than life. A promise more precious than life. A gift there waiting for me out there. He wasn't a blonde guy. And actually, there were two people. And the second one I thought could be Prophet Muhammad that time. But much later, when I got into unification movement and began, it dawned on me that these two people are basically Reverend Sam Young Moon and somebody else, and Bohi Pak. Yeah.
And we are at the 9:50 hour here, and I know our time is short, so I want to make sure that you specifically, when we come back from a break, Joe, we go to a break and come right back. You, Ali, specifically speak to, because you said something, and thank you, Marcus, for going there. You said something, and I'm not going to let you get up. Peter said I went off. I'm not going to let you get away from it. You specifically said that Jesus, has passed away, and he was pointing. I like what Joe Father said. He pointed. Jesus was marketed wrong. Sound like in the beginning, and he was supposed to be pointing to God. And you said that Jesus is coming back to correct as a second coming. I want you to speak to that, when you come back from break. Joe, get us to break. Man.
Okay.
All right, folks. This has been absolutely amazing. And when we come back, think about that, Ali. Think about that question and everything. But I definitely want to go ahead and read some of these comments because we got a few of them out there. Shout out to Ambrose Lee, Joseph Health Coach Tapper, Gary Abrahams. I thought it was Abrams. I was about to say, oh man, we got the governor. Shout out to Peter Hayes. I don't know who that guy is, but he's commenting on our show here. But either way, we'll be right back, folks. Right here on the Truth Be Told show. We'll be right back.
Thank you, Truth Be Told, for allowing God's Lives Matter to be a sponsor. Wearable products, as the purple t-shirt, is bearing witness. Every life created by God has infinite value. Visit God'sLivesMatter.com.
All right, cue the music.
Cue music.
Start the music.
Starting music.
And go.
It's the Truth Be Told show, where we place America first. Honoring those who America has forgotten. Listen in and unlearn to relearn. As we set the record straight. And now, your host of the Truth Be Told show, Mr. Just Ask Joe and Uncle Nishorn.
All right, folks. We are back right here on the Truth Be Told show. And remember, folks, truthbetold.com. You can go there and make anywhere from a $10 billion donation on down. Again, that's truthbetold.com. That's truth with an E. Check out the website. You'll see past videos and all that good stuff, folks, and the ability to make a donation. And I tell you what, we are back right here on the Truth Be Told show. And we're talking about some different things. We're talking about dreams. We're talking about coincidences. I remember I had a dream. And you know, Uncle Mishorn, you said something. You said when you were younger, you had dreams. You know, we all have dreams. Scientifically, you cannot be alive without having a dream. It's just a matter of, I think as we get older, we don't remember them as much, that we don't recall them as much, but we definitely have dreams all the time, because without that brain activity at night, then you would be considered dead. But again, folks, we're talking about dreams, inner voices, and divine coincidences, how God brought a Muslim man back to Jesus, or how God brought a Muslim man to Jesus in the most phenomenal way. And I want to definitely speak to that, and I want to speak to the books that this gentleman has written. And there's 3 books, and he's got a 4th book that is coming up here soon. But right now, I want to read these comments real quick. Let's see here. We've got they had to turn Jesus into a god so that Mary could be mother of God. so that yet again we can have something to put up there with God. I don't see anybody who has a God picture on their chains that they kiss, you know, before they do certain things. But I see plenty of Mary Magdalene, which that ain't even Mary Magdalene on that statue, in case y'all ain't know. But I see plenty of people, they got it, and they and they kiss that, you know. It's like Mary's greater than God, you know. The focus on Mary, not Jesus. Jesus did not come back to be worshipped. He came to point us back to the Father. Now, amen. Words are important. And so I'd like Brother Joseph Health, Coach Tapper, to elaborate. He said Jesus did not come to be worshipped. He came to point us back to the Father. Some people will say Jesus did not come back to be worshipped. I heard people say that. And so that's why I say words are important. And that guy is a wordsmith right there. He came to reconcile us to the Father. He is the finger pointing us to the Father, but people worship the finger. That's Deepak Chopra. He said Jesus came back to point us back to the Father, but people got stuck staring at the finger. So again, remember that, folks. Gary Abrahams, he said it's about lineage, God's lineage or Satan's lineage. I don't know if that was a question or what. But let's take a look at this.
Hey, Joe, on that part, you know, more and more the Catholic Church has been worshiping Mary, you know, Blessed Mary, Mother of God.
Oh, man, absolutely. The Catholic Church is nothing but a big group of people that pay homage to statues and and trophies and beads, and man, they are the most sacrilegious, paganistic people in the world. And any Catholic wants to come on and talk about that, then so be it. What offering does God or G-D require? A blood offering or a contrite heart? Psalm 51:17. The sacrifices of God are a broken spirit, a broken and a contrite heart. O God, you will not despise. And the offering of Cain was cursed before he ever tried to offer it. Genesis 3:17. And unto Adam he said, because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife, and hast eaten of the tree of which I commanded thee, saying, thou shalt not eat it, cursed is the ground for thy sake, in sorrow. I think he didn't post it so much that we didn't even get to read the rest. And I don't know what Pops is laughing at. It might be the other comment. I don't know. But with that in mind, I like to see Jesus as a second Adam, a son of God. That's Klaus Schick. Awesome. What the Schick? And Murtis, he's just like ... So that's Brother Strong right there. Tuning in. I'm happy to see Strong tuning in with us even here. I can't wait till we get that call in so he can call in. Hey, hello.
I was going to ask about Brother Strong and if he made it over here with us.
Yeah. He's always gives. We're gonna call it the strong opinion. The strong point.
Now, I would say in this moment that we're in right now, and we're up to the point where we're asking, or at least I'm asking, what's right for us in this, and how we proceed as a people in relation to this information. And we hear the poverty pimping preachers and the poverty pimping people all the time. But what's right for us in this, and how we proceed from here with the information that we have in front of us? What's right for us
as a people?
Amen. Amen.
So there you go.
As a human family.
Is that a question to Ali? Was that a question to Ali, Marcus, or was that just
it was a question to Ali, but it's a question to all of us as we move forward and how we
due to the access of all recorded knowledge. Is that
so? This is Sharam. He comes in and he says, due to all access to all recorded knowledge on the internet, there's no way to go back to a monopoly of any one religion, and that is an absolute truth. We can't even get back to a monopoly of one human race, let alone one religion.
Absolutely.
We just love degrees of separation here.
God is one, and his truth should be one, not 100 different religions and thousands of denominations. But I can you kindly give me some time to really talk about coincidence and inner voices and divine ways, how I got to come out of the farming.
Sure, go ahead. We're gonna go a little bit longer. If anybody wants to kick it with us, we normally go an hour. We're gonna go a little bit longer, but go ahead, Ali. I want you to talk about that. Those divine coincidences, those dreams, and keep it as simplified as possible.
I'm gonna try and give you a quick run, and then I'll leave it there. Okay, as I said earlier, I was raised as a farmer. At the age of 17, I have not a penny, but God worked in mysterious ways. And God began to first attack. The first one that God attacked is breaking the tradition, because so often people cannot come out of tradition. So God broke the tradition that my family relatives do. I don't know if in America, we in Arab country, in my village, we marry cousins. And here's the miracle. My mother gave birth to 5 sons. Bang, 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 5 sons. And my uncle wives brought 5 daughters in a row. Bang, 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 bang. And so in my tradition, we were matched by our grandparents. So as children, we are playing. We know, oh, that's my wife, that's my brother Khalid's wife, that's my brother Salah's wife. So we already planned, arranged, and accepted. But God says, I have a different view. God broke that system. And out of all of 5 brothers, only one made it to marry one of our cousins. But God brought some relative, a distant relative from my mother's side. He's the one that God used to get me out of the farm and go to work in the city. So my dad was worried about me. So he thought I was gonna die. Farming is too much for me, and he was looking anywhere to save me. And so, well, this relatives of my mother came to ask my father and my parents for the hand of my sister to marry her older son. It is through him that God used to get me out of the farm and get a job in the city with him. I got a job as a tire mechanic, a practice mechanic, changing tires. But when I went to the city to start my job, to work as a tire changer, whatever you call a mechanic, I found another news that I would not be working as a tire mechanic. I would be working in 5-star hotel, which happened to be about a mile away from the presidential palace. And what happened is God works in the mysterious, this is the mystery of God. Behind the scene, God arranges things and move people. So my brother work as a tourist guide, and he takes tourists to different hotels in the country. And when he went to this hotel, Amilcar Hotel, he was surprised to find the manager of a hotel that he used to know from another city is managing this hotel. So my brother-in-law got inspired and said, maybe you should ask this manager if he have a job for my brother-in-law. So in a way, God pushed my brother-in-law to ask the hotel manager to get me a job. And of course, they were so friendly. The hotel manager said, go ahead, bring him over, send him to me. And the next day, I was working in a 5-star hotel. Not only that, but when I started working, this is how God, amazing, praise God. This is how God works. When I got to working in a hotel, I found out there's another man working in there. His name is exactly like my name, and he came from the same town, but I call myself Ali Mahjoub, and he called himself Mahjoub Ali. So we worked together for about 6 months, and that Mahjoub Ali decided to quit hotels and move on working as an accountant, a firm. Fast forward 6 months later, that manager who hired me moved away, and a new manager came in. And at the same time, a contract by the name of Ali Mahjoub was given by the government to go to Europe for a training program. And this hotel had a strictly what do we call law that anyone cannot be chosen unless you work in this hotel for 5 or 6 years. I only been less than a year working in a hotel, but the other Mahjoub who's been working in the company for 6 years, that contract came to him. When the contract came to him, there is no Ali Mahjoub but me. See how God works. I mean, you're talking about coincidence. This is it. And so
you got to go to Europe because you had
the new manager
the same
came in, and right away he asked me to come in his office, and he said, "Congratulations, son. You are chosen among the brightest people in the country." I was the least proud. I just came from behind a camel. And he told me,
I just hope that when I have on my coat of many colors, no one comes and rips it off and throws me in a den or anything like that, because my name is Joseph. Hey, so quick question from the crowd here. You know, a Muslim being led to Jesus is puzzling to me. being Jesus is mentioned in the Quran more than anyone. Is he denouncing Muhammad? And that's SWT, which stands for Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, and which means
Subhanallah wa
the
ta'ala.
Most High, the most glorified, the Most High. I tried to
know.
say it as if I was, but that means
Well,
the Most High. So, are you denouncing Muhammad?
Absolutely not. I'm not denouncing Islam. You guys, you really, all these prophecies misunderstood and misinterpreted. The second, including the second coming of Christ, the last days, all fake news. They're not true.
So Trump was right.
They're not. They're not interpreted right. The reason why, 2,000 years ago, the Jews were specifically told that before God will send the Messiah, he will send Elijah. Malachi 4:5 and 4 and 5. Read that. So the Jews of the Jesus time are waiting for Elijah to appear coming up from the sky on a chariot of fire. Read that 2 Kings 2:11. It tells how
that's a spaceship in
new
time.
Yeah, a spaceship. But anyway, then the next day Jesus was preaching at the in the crowd and say, "Repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. I am the so-and-so, I am the Messiah." And people were pointing finger to their book, to their Bible, and say, "Hey, wait a minute. Jesus, God told us in Malachi 4:5 that Elijah must come. So if you are the Messiah, why can't we see the Elijah? Where is Elijah?" And what did Jesus says? Elijah is John the Baptist. So their views, literally, just like the Christian today, literally gleaming up to the sky to see if Jesus appeared on a cloud. Jesus is not coming on a cloud. When he comes, he will be born anew, like a human being.
And just so you know, guys, the best way to look at the clouds is laying on your back on a field. You look up and you're going to see a whole bunch of different shapes, and you may see a shape of a Jesus sitting on the cloud.
Or fly an airplane and you can touch the cloud if you want. But
so
anyway,
Ali, so I love this conversation, and I do believe we who are descendants of American slaves, those who used to be called Negroes, Blacks, and African Americans, were sold the European ideology, and black pastors has continued selling us that BS. And I totally agree. I love that I got influenced through Reverend Moon and everything, and I've learned so much. Now, I want to ask you, because you specifically talked about the dreams of the things, where do faith and belief, where do faith and belief come in? We're not looking for a physical, the book smart, the educated. That's what's going on in schools today. Everybody's so caught up in the physical. You said something earlier about we used to have more spiritual. So where do the spiritual in the belief that Jesus is who he is and he's coming back, and we're not looking for the physical, but we believe in it through faith? Where did that play a role?
Well, faith is very important in any religion. Faith is the way. You can Google the word faith and you will find it. St. Paul is the champion of faith. He said amazing things. But faith also, faith-based experience. Your experience can recognize the truth when you hear new truth. Your experience will resonate with that. So we're talking about the last days, and what I believe now we are living, our time is the last days. And you might be liking bombshells, but I'm going to throw it. Second coming of Christ happened right after World War I and World War II. So that generation, when Jesus says in Matthew, in Matthew 24:34, and when he said, this generation will not pass away until all these signs fulfilled. What sign is Jesus talking about? Is the return of the Jews to their homeland, 1948. That is the greatest sign of the second coming of Christ. And it happened in 1948 when the Jewish people returned to their homeland. And as I said, the Messiah is not coming from the cloud, hallelujah, with trumps blowing. He came in the midst of bombs and explosion and war when he was born.
You know what's interesting is one thing my dad and I, we talk about aliens and stuff like that a lot. And when you go and you do a little bit of research, you find that some of the most or the greatest amount of alien activity, sightings, and actual, alien stuff happening is during war.
Yeah.
And I don't know what that means, whether it's like the aliens are trying to help, they or hurt. I don't know whose side they're on, honestly. But it's interesting when you say that. So, I'm when it comes to reading the Bible these days, I always got to look at context. When somebody quotes a scripture, I got to go, okay, who wrote that? And what were they writing about when they wrote that?
Right.
Because context is everything. And the biggest illusion that most pastors have when it comes to a lot of these pastors' magic tricks is the art of deception, illusion, the whole, look over
Switch and
here
bait.
while I'm doing something over here, bait and switch, because people, in the midst of a good message, everybody's woo, they hooping and hollering, yeah. But nobody's asking the questions. Hold on. Paul was just writing a letter to the churches. He was just talking to them. He wasn't talking to us. He didn't even know we existed. He wasn't writing this for people 2,000 years later. He was just writing to the church then. He wasn't talking to us. So, that's my thing is, people just, they give these blanket statements, Jesus came to take away the sin of the world, with no context.
Yeah.
And that's my, how do we get context? Are we ever going to have context again?
Yeah.
Hey, how about this, Joe?
I
We probably need to send the Ghostbusters to Ukraine because they're in a war and there's probably a whole lot of alien activity over there.
Oh yeah. Well, have you seen that president of Ukraine's videos? Yeah, man, that's some serious alien activity.
Well, I'm sorry to say this, but for those who really wanted to know the truth about Jesus and about God and about everything, the Bible, the best Bible study I ever heard is called The Divine Principle, the teaching of Reverend Sam Myung-Moon. This is the one that answer every question you have about the Bible. Anything that you didn't understand has an answer for it. So I'll put it there. Before even you read my book, this book is the way. And I really believe that Christianity and Islam are in a big shock right now. Shockwave is happening all over the world.
Now we're gonna have to get into this. We're gonna have to get into this conversation about Moon.
I want
point.
before
this is brewing because Moon is every time you mention Moon, you become Uncle Mishorn's best friend all over again. And
I love that, bro. I want to go there and give him a big hug.
Oh man, and my pops is he's like, hey, Moon is nuts, and he's been nuts.
Yeah,
so,
and you gotta be nuts.
Hey, Mr. Just that Joe, I think also with that though is that every denomination that we see in religion has been because somebody didn't like something and they went and started something that matched what they wanted to believe. And so Reverend Moon and the Lutheran and the Catholic and anybody else is all in the same line. And so I don't dispute what he's saying about Reverend Moon, but he went and started that because he didn't like something he saw somewhere else.
Amen. And Reverend Moon was sent by Jesus himself. And he didn't come just by himself, say, I am this. He's doing the work of Jesus. And Jesus Christ.
Well, I don't dispute that, but I also believe that whoever started the Lutheran faith and the CME and the AME, all those
Pastor
people believe the same thing.
What? He used a pencil. I'm going to start a new church because I believe in only using pens.
I do want to add. I do want to just add, because I was not born into religion. I found it when I became an adult, and I was searching. And when Reverend Moon came along in my life, is when I just had a damn overload with the evangelical and the black churches after the 2006 Peace Festival. I was in a red eye, wanted to go back and get some blood. And I have to tell you, Peter did something and takes me to see Reverend Moon. And Ali, if I can just piggy your back, I lined the divine principle up with the Bible, and I went line for line looking at things, and it made sense. Not a religion. I'm gonna just be clear. Not a religion. People get it's not a religion, okay? It's not, get that out your head. It's not a religion. It is a clear explanation, like principles. Just principles. Mm-hmm. I'm a medical person, okay?
And another way to marry a bunch of women.
Okay. Yeah. I look for things that make sense. And that's the only thing that the divine principle did for me. It helped me to put things in some order of making sense. That's all, okay? It's not a religion. Everybody want to make Reverend Moon out like he's a religion.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. When you say putting it in some order of making sense, let's just look at it like this. Let's say our minds is this big, right? Our minds is this big, and it makes sense to the expansion of our minds as this big. Well, what happens if you learn more stuff or whatever, and your mind gets this big? Does it still make sense? You know what I mean? But I mean, and I'm not denying the divine principle. Ambrose Lee says, my favorite hermeneutics rule: a text without context is a pretext to a lie. Divine principle helps folks get the correct context. So I'm not mad. Jesus came and he was a prophet. Moses was a prophet. You had all these prophets. Hey, maybe Moon was a prophet too, and he fulfilled his purpose, right? And he wrote his book. It's just in this day and age, we had way more technology, so it was easier to quote unquote debunk him. The U.S. government debunk him and call him a nut, and people follow along with that, right?
Amen. Yeah.
So that could be the case.
But if you allow me to continue,
a prophet. Peter is a prophet. I is a prophet. Marcus is a prophet. Mishon is a prophet.
Well, according to West Louisville, Peter should never be preaching ever again.
we are all prepared. Just ask Joe. He's prepared from way back there. Even his radio show, his passion. It didn't just happen. Ta-da! Okay, Mr. Just Ask Joe. I want you to do. Yeah, he had a passion for that. You've been working on it for years, and
it was bait that Uncle Mishon used. That's
and Uncle Mishon,
he used it back in 2020. It was bait. He
knew. God has baits. God trained you. God. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And but so look at this.
One more thing I need to finish. How I met the unification.
Okay, but before you finish that, I want you to jump right into that. But let's look at this comment. The evidence of taking away sin is immortality walking the earth. All right. So but here's the interesting thing to that comment, because it's only if you believe in the supernatural birth of Jesus that would make sense, right? But if you start looking at the natural birth, I mean, dude,
then you take all that away.
People been sinning since the beginning of time, right? Since supposedly since Eve ate the apple, people been sinning, right? So, and it didn't stop after Jesus came. It's just you couldn't get rocks thrown at you anymore. I guess I don't know. But
they're stoning people today in Afghanistan. So what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you're right. That's true. They still stoning people, and people are still getting stoned. So in America,
I really believe
get stoned. Remember that song? Bob Dylan.
I really believe in the last 100 years, God brought a new age. Totally, 100 years ago, we have no TV, no radios, no cellular phone, no internet. 100 years ago, only 100 years ago. It doesn't take us genius scientists to say this is the last days. You know, our world is totally transformed.
I just figured this was the days that we met the aliens and we,
Yeah,
re-engineered their technology.
Even democracy and all these media networks are created just to spread the truth of the Lord of the Second Advent.
So let's look at a couple comments, and then Ali,
yeah.
I want you to finish up what you were talking about. We're gonna look at a couple comments here. Jesus did his work and finished it. Moon just wanted to marry a bunch of women. I think that's absolutely hilarious. Jesus said, "If you don't believe I am who I said I am, then believe me for the works I did." What miracles did Moon do to convince anyone? Elijah, Moses, and Jesus all did great miracles. Well, Moon didn't he disappear at some point?
Right here.
Like,
Reverend Moon Miracle is right standing with you.
Hey, let me say, Joe, I think if we're going to really be serious, if we want to take a look at Divine Principle or Life of Reverend Moon, who I've been known for 40 years, let's not just take pot shots.
Is Moon still alive? He's dead,
no,
right?
He passed away.
Yeah,
so let's take it more serious, because people who are commenting don't know anything about him. If you haven't read Divine Principle, you should read it.
You're nothing. Yeah. Divine Principle.
That's pretty, but that's pretty short-sighted.
Because
what Ali said is they're
it
nothing.
looks like Ambrose Lee, he knows about it. And I'm not sure. I think Pops has. He's familiar. He's very familiar with Moon. But him and Michon has actually had conversation about Moon.
Yeah, well, see, people have read the newspapers. Hold on.
We're not
Let me
talking
say
about.
People have read the newspapers about Reverend Moon. If you haven't studied Divine Principle and you've never read Reverend Moon or listened to one of his speeches, I find that all the time, because they say, well, Reverend Moon, blah, blah, blah. Have you ever heard him speak? No.
Right.
Have you ever met him? No. Have you ever read his teaching? No. But he's a bad man.
So that's not so. But Peter's point is not bad. But that's the same thing that they say about the descent of American slaves when you look at the media and how they're portrayed and all these other things.
Right.
So oftentimes that happens, and we don't stop and say, "Do you know Marcus? Do you know those people?" We just take what the newspaper says.
Listen,
you're telling us to stop and understand Reverend Moon, and this is really about what's right for us, not about what's right for Reverend Moon.
Yes.
Well, we're talking about humanity. When you say what's right for us, who are we talking about?
Well, we're talking about you may be talking about humanity as a whole, but humanity as a whole doesn't give two rats' asses about the Black community or the Central American slave community, because if they did, there wouldn't be a need for the truth be told or anything else talking about us as a people.
But the Bible tells you that the Bible justified it and said that you had to get your ass kicked first to build some character, and then and then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna bring up all the Black people. Because,
I don't disagree with that, but they've been kicking it for 400 years.
It doesn't come that easy.
It doesn't come that easy, but it doesn't come that easy, but it doesn't help.
Well, I personally believe that no peace will ever come to America until the Black people being resolved.
You know what? My dad has said that for years.
And I have actually confirmed that. That's a lot of truth to that. All right, a lot.
How'd you confirm that?
I was thinking the same thing, Marcus. I was like, oh, he spoke to God, and he confirmed that. God, what say you, God?
Praise God.
I'm glad that you asked that question. How did I confirm?
Where do you find the Holy Spirit?
It was in a dream.
It's in the Black churches, not in white churches. Come on, man.
Hallelujah.
If
I don't know what kind of spirit you find
spiritually, you know that we are the key to making America greater than it's ever been. When you it's like a million. You know this, man.
White people, do you hear that? You ain't getting out of this until you get us right. Okay? You better act right. You better get us right, or else we all gonna stay here on this monopoly board.
God ain't released me yet. God ain't released it until America get us right. the world ain't gonna be right. Okay, culturally, I'm just telling you. There's reasons why our seeding came to America. Nobody talks about it. I've talked to some very, very deep European American people who are believers, and they constantly say every time, until America get right with the descendants of American slaves on this stall, the rest of the world will not be saved and taken care of. It's the truth. Yep. We are the seeds on this stall to making the world better. A lot of people don't like that. I say it to my European friends all the time. You get us right, America get right. You don't want to do.
That's why we have color, because we're watermelon seeds. That's it. You know. So listen here. Look, let's look at this. It's 10:28. All right. This is what I want to do. Can we bring Ali back for a part 2? What do you guys think?
Sure, if he's available.
Are you available next Tuesday for a part 2? Okay, all right. Let's do this. Let's bring him back for a part 2, and you know, but.
And by that time, I see whether or not he answered that question I sent you. If you can answer that question,
I will.
That I sent you, okay. But don't send the answer. Send the answer straight to me. Don't post it nowhere. Send it straight to me.
So let me ask this question before we go for next week.
Yeah.
In the Bible, there's Adam and Eve, and there's Cain and Abel, and then all of a sudden there's all these other people in all these other places around the rest of the world. Where did they come from? Not this week, next week.
I can answer real quick.
What was the question?
No.
In the beginning,
in the
beginning, there was Adam and Eve, and then they had Cain and Abel, and they had other children. Then Cain left and went and married somebody somewhere else, and came back. Right. So if
hold on, he couldn't have left and went and married somebody else. He married his sister.
Well, I don't profess to be no deep theologian. I'm just asking the question because I'm trying to figure it out.
Listen,
you got to understand the scriptures are synopsis of stories. It's not a day by day, blow by blow.
It doesn't matter if it's day by day or blow by blow. But, if all
that does matter, because now because if the Bible says, you know, Cain went married, or if the Bible just comes back talking about Cain and he married somebody or whatever, well, it's like, where did somebody come from?
Right. That's all I'm asking. I ain't asking for
so the somebody came from it. What that does, it solidifies the fact that, hey, stop making the Bible your deity, because it is a synopsis of stories and revelations and epiphanies. My brother calls it literary art. You know, again, it is not a day. That's where the people in the church, those that whose mind are blown by conversations like this, those that called in to get us kicked off the radio because they said, no, not 2 days after Easter did he say that Jesus has a natural daddy. No. Which I'm gonna let you guys know one day we're going to play the video of that meeting that we had at WLLV. Oops, did I say that? And we'll let you listen in on some of the ridiculous conversation of that. Absolutely. We told them after the fact that we were recording though. But you know, again, it's the Bible should not be held to the esteem that it is being held in this day and age. I mean, there's over 4,000 different translations of it. You know, thousands of different versions of it, folks. You know, again, it's not a day by day. This was not that movie with Jim Carrey and he's in a bubble and everybody's in on it but him. This is not that movie, right? They did not have a recording of everything that happened every day. So let's let
Ali close us out.
I really believe now is the time, the end of all religion and a new beginning.
Yeah, it's being torn down. I believe that.
The wars are collapsing.
The veil is being uncovered and pulled back.
New truth has appeared, and that's what it is. And God work on it step by step, very clear.
So
the end of Islam, the end of Christianity, the new religion is coming up.
Hey, Ali, I look forward to you coming back next week, because I believe, you know, as much as we say the truth be told, if we do not uncover the religious truth and
Yes.
the discovery of all of that, we don't get no truth. Okay,
We got
everything
nowhere.
else is fictional. Okay, we have to
Amen.
cover these conversations, and the people who've been the most deceived by this is the slaves that came into the lie. They were children.
Yep.
They were children.
Slave.
Well, and I mean, they didn't even speak English.
Yeah,
No,
Noah
wait a minute.
Shelton said.
People,
Shelton said in his
religious
American
people are
Little Black
slave
Book
to their.
that
Go ahead, Michon. Go ahead.
yeah. Noah Shelton. Yeah, Noah Shelton said in America's Little Black Book, I fell in love with the way he said it. He said, America, the parent culture, the dominant European culture, okay, they influence children to buy into something that they had no idea what they were buying into.
Mm-hmm.
They had a responsibility to get these children right. And God is going to hold. That's why, this is why I said, I know what I know. God is holding America responsible for deceiving innocent children. Children.
Excuse me,
Okay.
Michon.
Buying into
Michon.
something. Okay.
Michon. This
Yes,
is
sir.
also video, so you gotta watch camera placement. Like we just saw all your teeth
Oh,
are the ones that are missing. Yeah. Okay, so
hey. So
I'm
you know,
sorry, I got
deception of
that's a good point, Mark.
kids. You know, that's the reason why my parents let us make the decision to get baptized and all that type stuff. They didn't do it for us as a child,
Right.
because what sense does that actually make to do that as a child? You know, you only know what your parents tell you. You know, so that's and we've carried, as a people, we've carried that ideology on. You know, ask 90% of the people why they vote Democrat in our community.
Because their parents told them
my parents told us to, you know. I mean, that's what it was in our house, you know, blue, blue, blue. But you hate UK. Ridiculous. So with that in mind, then folks, you know, we're going to close out here. I want to give everybody a quick chance to go ahead and say something, but I got to say something just the same about something you said earlier that I thought was awesome. You talked about, you know, the kids and how your you know, all the daughters that were had back to back, and the sons, Ali, that your family had back to back. And I just want to share this with you real quick as we do our round robin of closing out. I just want you to see this real quick, Ali. Give me 1 second, and I'm gonna share screen so that you can enjoy this as well. Okay, so that, you know, I had to put that in there. That was John Witherspoon. From, because you said earlier, you said your son, the brothers were born, your parents had the brother, bang 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 bang, and then you said the daughters were born, bang 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 bang. So you know, and I don't know who else was thinking the same thing, but I had to play this John Witherspoon clip because that is his famous line of bang 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 bang.
About that, it seemed like
do it that way. Let's keep it that way. Bang 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 bang.
Yeah.
Hey Ali, it seems like there was a lot of banging going on in Tunisia.
Oh my God, yes, there's a lot of banging. God's banging.
Yeah, I think you know, and a lot of foreigners seem to be closer to keeping, you know, that biblical word there of be fruitful and multiply. It's like let's just keep having kids, you know. I mean, especially if you're in a third world country, you know, I mean, it's, you know, you don't have as much technology and things to do, you know. So
the whole idea of saying that,
you go bang 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 bang. That's what
but the whole idea of saying that thing is to show you the miracle how God worked to break up that tradition of marrying cousins and
Yeah.
move me to where he wants me to be.
Absolutely.
That's what I mean. Everything is set. We're all like kids. We're playing out. We know who's our spouses will be, and you know,
Yeah.
and that
And you know that
God
they're not
says,
your cousins.
yep,
That's not as much as I can say about like Richmond, Kentucky, and places like that.
Yeah,
But
prearranged marriage is actually the norm around the world, not
Yeah.
our romantic, you know, find your soulmate and then get divorced in 3 months after you paid
Yeah.
$50,000 for a wedding.
yeah, yeah.
no,
That's
absolutely.
That's
I
nuts.
found my soulmate. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to find another one.
Yeah. And in
How many?
Kentucky,
5,
they
6?
find their soulmates at the family reunions. You know, it's a little bit different there here. But listen, real quick, give us we're gonna go around and Ali, give us one last thing. If there's one thing that you want people to remember about the idea of dreams, inner voices, and divine coincidences, what's one thing that you would tell people to take away?
Yeah, the people to take away is believe in yourself. God speaks to you. God sows seeds in your mind. God coach you. God guide you with all your passion and desire. Don't give it up and keep on going. And as you follow, God continue with you. I mean, I was a sinner. I wasn't even a religious when God and God didn't care. Once God chose you, He will move mountain, and that's what it is. So believe in yourself, and you know, read my book and to help you how you interpret your dreams. Because
What's your website?
Okay, my website is honorthygod.com. I put it on the chat.
Okay.
www.honorthygod.com. And especially my last book, Chosen. I told everything from detail from birth. Would you believe it that at the age of 3 months, I was declared dead, and they sent my uncle Tayyib to dig a grave for me. And when he came back, he found the people, instead of crying, they were laughing and joking and making, you know, at that time, about 1946, there was no doctors in my village. There was no hospitals. And so they thought,
Ali, I want you to save that for
Okay.
part 2. Save that for part 2, because you know and as I move on, guys, all right, because Ali, he can go like Peter, like he can go like Uncle Mishon. So Uncle Mishon, you up next. You know, we're gonna have to we're gonna do camera placement, and we're gonna do talking about camera placement in the middle of a show. We're gonna talk about that too. So go ahead, Uncle Bishon.
Well, I want to thank Ali for his your very information about your dreams and everything. And I just want to piggyback and say that you're right. Believe in yourself. I think Peter, just the other day, someone wanted to know why I gave you permission to say the N-word, and they jumped all over me. And I said, go listen to the show, and you can hear a young kid believing and defending people that he didn't have no understanding of who, but he knew it was wrong.
Yes.
He believed it was wrong. Yes. Peter believed it was wrong to stand up against someone using the word, the N-word. And the reason why we here is because we had people that stood up against us because we wanted to put on a show about the truth. And so I said, thank you, Ali, for being here. I look forward to it, because truth be told, we believe in what we're doing. And and you're evidence of it by you being here. Things that's going on too, sir.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Peter, last words.
Wow, what a great show. What a great show. A lot of different topics. For me, I agree. When I stay focused on asking questions, getting centered on the creator, my life seems to be better, my family, my neighbors. So I think that's a lesson I've learned, is that, keep my eyes on the prize, and insights and revelation come minute by minute. When we are focusing on asking questions of our Creator and getting answers, and that's what I basically say that prayer is. So I try to stay in prayer, and I've noticed when I get out of prayer, anger, resentment, jealousy, all those things starts to rear its ugly head. So I'm trying to stay as much in prayer as possible.
Amen.
When you pray, who do you pray to? But that's a whole nother question.
All right.
Hey, Marcus,
All right.
go ahead and give.
I pray to the Creator of the cosmos.
Give us some last words, Marcus.
Well, first, I want to thank Ali for coming and agreeing to come back next week. I think that through all of this, we don't use critical thinking enough, and we're talking about being astute and being critical thinkers. And so regardless of what religion anyone follows, I still believe it comes down to good and evil. And as long as we do more good, and our goal is to do good,
Amen.
then evil can't survive. And so out of all our conversations today, that's what I got, regardless of what religion and what faith and all those things, is that
Amen.
it comes down to that. And if every religion is following that, we can't help but be unified in some place down the road.
There you go.
Amen.
Hey, well,
Absolutely. So, I just want to say, folks, again, justaskjoe.net. You can definitely reach me there. And, belief, my brother said it, and I thought that's, interesting there. If I don't believe in me, who will? Belief is a verb, faith with works. So, they put belief in as a noun, which is interesting. But when you look at it from the standpoint of a verb, to accept something as true, genuine, or real ideals, it's something that you have to do. All right. It's something that you have to do. Therefore, to me, it's a verb. So when you start talking about that, belief in yourself or beliefs in oneself, then ultimately, we all as a people need to focus on believing in ourselves. Folks, you have a power deep within you. And if you haven't found that power, if you haven't held true to that power, if you don't know or understand that power, then you need to do a little more research on you.
You got to plug that power in, Joe. Plug
Absolutely.
it in.
Absolutely. And bang, 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 bang. All right. Hey, folks, it's been another episode of the Truth Be Told Show. Right here with Better Days with Peter Hayes, Miss Just Ask Joe, Marcus Ray, Uncle Mishon, and our special guest, Ali Mahjoub. Thanks again. We will see you next week. Same place, same time, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't forget, truthbetold.com. That's truth with an E, betold.com. All right, folks. We'll see you next week.
All right, cue the music.
Cue music.
Start the music.
Starting music.
And go.
It's the Truth Be Told Show, where we place America first. Honoring those who America has forgotten. Listen in and unlearn to relearn. As we set the record straight. And now, your host of the Truth Be Told Show, Mr. Just Ask Joe and Uncle Mishon.